What's up, guys? My name is Matt, and if you're any way in tune with the Destiny world, you know that recently Bungie revealed the new social space on Twitch, and I say recently to future-proof this video. In all reality, it was yesterday, but regardless, a lot of information came from this stream, and each part of the live stream had a lot of information to take in. Now, I initially thought about doing a recap of the entire stream, packing it all into one video, but there's a lot of vendors, lots of things to talk about, so I decided that it'd be much more efficient to cover each individual vendor in a video. So over the next few days, I'll be covering each part in its own video, and today specifically, I'll be talking about the new Queen's Wrath and story agent, Petra Venj. Now, for those not aware, this is Petra Venj, and some of you dedicated players out there may remember her from the one time she visited the tower way back in, I believe, October for the Queen's Wrath event. Well, now she is back, and she's no longer an event, she is permanent. She'll be the main story agent like Eris was in the Dark Below, but she'll also provide us with not only the story, but some new things to purchase like shaders and emblems, as well as some new bounties to complete. Now, if you're not aware, Bungie invited a community guest to the live stream, and they'll be doing that every single week up until the release of House of Wolves, or at least every time they do a stream. But this week's community guest was Cathalion. If you don't know who he is, he's a Twitch streamer, he's also a YouTuber, and he avidly plays Destiny on a daily basis, so I see why they invited him. Now, the one thing that he asked, now there was a lot of questions he asked during the live stream, but the one thing he asked about Petra and the whole Queen's Wrath thing is, will it be a rehash of the old Queen's Wrath? Is it just the same thing reskinned to make look pretty? And Bungie assured us it wasn't. And with that, showed us some, and I assume there's a lot more, but some of the new bounties. And there are a total of 6 of them that they showed us, so let's take a look at them. These first 3 seem to be focused on bosses in the House of Wolves, and it should be noted that they reward more XP and more reputation. The 3 are Drevis Wolf Baroness, Beltrek the Veiled, and Mecher Orbix 11. What's really interesting about that is, again, we fight captains, and that makes sense to fight captains, because those are the top tier guys in the Fallen factions, but also Mecher Orbix 11 is a servitor, which is really interesting to see. I'm looking forward to the story missions and how we're going to be fighting these guys. And the reason I say story missions is because the way I interpret these is that not only do we have the new story missions, but these wanted bounties are Bungie's way of trying to give us a new reason to replay missions. Now, we currently replay missions only for the daily, so hopefully these bounties just give another reason to replay the missions. But my guess is that these 3 majors that we take on in these bounties are the bosses from the 3 story missions in the House of Wolves. Now, some people may disagree with me, but I welcome a reason to replay missions outside of the daily. The 3 that you're now seeing on the screen, with my best guess, are probably specific Fallen that will be roaming around the areas of Destiny that we've been countless of times. Kind of like the Swords of Crota that we go in the Dark Below and kill. And they're probably tied to the new quests. Like the Dark Below, we had story missions such as the Siege of the Warmine, but we also had quests like the Hand, Heart, and Eyes of Crota. My guess is House of Wolves will have a similar mechanic, and thus these bounties tie into those. To cover them quickly, they are the Wolf Scavengers on the Moon, Queenbreaker Vandals in the Cinders on Venus, and Howling Raiders in the Halls of Whispers on Venus. Now, the new bounties are great. The new way of obtaining reputation for a new faction that we had in the past but has been reworked and redone is great. But the next important thing to note are the emblems and shaders. Bungie also added new emblems and shaders and also brought back some old ones. It seems that the emblems haven't changed, but they have returned and will be obtainable again. They are the Queen's Guard crest and the Crown of Sovereign. But Bungie also brought back the Rose Gold shader, but I believe that is the only shader that was brought back. There are a total of 4, and 3 of them are new. Now, I just mentioned the Rose Gold, that is one of the 4, but the other 3 are called Prism Dancer, Palace Victorious, and Amogan's Fire. Now, Bungie didn't give us an in-depth look at these. They actually didn't look at them at all. So these new shaders, we have no idea what they look like. So when the House of Wolves comes out, I'll be sure to cover them. But until then, just note that there are 3 new shaders, and that is what Petra Venj has, but that's not everything that she has. Now, the last and final thing worth mentioning, is probably the coolest ship to date in Destiny. Now, I can remember back, one of my friends during the Queen's Wrath back in October, I explicitly remember him saying, I want that ship. Why can't I have that ship, Bungie? That ship is cool. I remember him saying that, and I agreed. It was an awesome ship. It had all its streamers and stuff, and the shape of the ship was really cool. We don't get the streamers. Gathalion even asked if we were getting the streamers, and only the Queen's Guard get the streamers, which was Deej's response. We don't get the streamers, but we get a new ship. That new ship is called Saris Galliot. I believe that's how you pronounce it. I may be completely wrong, but that's how I read it, as Saris Galliot. And dear God, that ship is fucking awesome. Just look at it. The thing doesn't even fit in the preview screen. And I'm not really sure why, but out of everything revolving around Petra Venj, now there's other things I'm more excited for, but everything revolving around Petra Venj, this is the one thing I'm most excited to get my hands on. I want that ship. As I've said, there was a ton more in the stream to cover, but that's all I can fit into one video, or at least I cover it in depth to actually look at each individual piece. The video was either going to be 20 minutes long or this length. So that's all I'm going to cover for today, and the rest of it I'll be covering the coming days. But until then, I'm going to do my solid thing, tell you if you're new here, be sure to subscribe, leave a like. I want you guys to tell me your thoughts about this reveal, about your hype for House of Wolves. If you're hyped, if you're not hyped, if you're not excited, tell me why. Tell me down in the comment section. But as always, guys, my name is Matt, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.